Today we are going to talk about Demon City. The title instantly grabbed my attention, but the movie fell apart the more it went on. This movie will be compared to John Wick, as this has some similar plot lines to that film. But in this case, our protagonist is hellbent on getting revenge for his family instead of a dog. Some of the action scenes were good, but many of them are ridiculously unrealistic. I know this is a movie, but I don't know how a meat cleaver is superior to a gun. And our enemy comes in close without even unloading a full clip to our protagonist just to get killed by that lever. And this, my friend, is called plot armor. Movie is a bit vague if the protagonist is a supernatural being or not, because bullet can't hit him at close range, and no matter how many times he gets stabbed, he bounces back into the fight like it was nothing. And there is an antagonist who monologues me to sleep. I literally fast forward the third act, and it takes so much time to get to the main villain. And talking about villain, there are 5 bosses with a mask, and I'm not making fun of the mask, but they look goofy as fuck at some of the instances, because I can see their skin and most of the time their chins too, and they don't look intimidating after that. So our story starts off with our hitman who has his own bat cave and a Batmobile, and he single-handedly killed the Yakuza with a meat cleaver without a bulletproof jacket. This was his last job as a hitman. He got a wife and a daughter who were soon captured by the new mob in the town. They came in with their mask, and I kid you not, I thought this was a parody.
Emotional, damn it!
Anyway, they thanked him for clearing out the Yakuza so they could take their place. And I was quite surprised how they killed the wife instantly, but I was not ready to see them pull the trigger on the daughter. Not long after a monologue by Sakata, he was also shot. And instantly came the news that he killed his family and then committed a suicide. I mean, is there no investigation took place to see if he really did it or not?
No.
Fast forward to 12 years later, Sakata is alive because the bullet didn't go through his skull.
He always was a tough son of a bitch.
But he was paralyzed for 12 years. Remember this, because this paralyzing plot will be thrown out of the window like our protagonist in a few minutes. His handler from his hitman days is taking care of him now. While on a walk, a man jumped on Sakata and stabbed him in the arm, and he's the son of the Yakuza who got his hand cut off by Sakata. I thought he was alive in the movie because he is still important and can be useful in the later scenes, but no, he was there to stab Sakata so the plot can move forward.
Incredible.
Sakata was hospitalized because of this, and we get to meet our first boss who put some drug into Sakata's IV which unparalyzed him. That's just my theory. A bullshit theory. Anyway, Sakata can move now and handle the first boss, and is lucky with some luck and sheer strength. Remember guys, when I told you that the paralyzing has no effect on him. After being dormant for 12 years, he was able to handle 2 guys on his own. He killed the first boss by strangling him. Now comes the second boss who handles the drugs, and we came to know that Sakata's handler was the one who gave up the address that led the masked man into his home. Sakata's handler was tasked to kill him and bring back the body to the second boss place, but he faked his death, and Sakata was able to infiltrate the base. He destroyed most of the base from within, but the second boss rigged the place and he bombed the place after he saw Sakata's face. But he forgot that Sakata have a plot armor. He walked out of the bomb with a freaking blanket. And yes, you heard it right, a freaking blanket. He killed his handler and punched the second boss to death. We also came to know that her daughter Rio was alive. The bullet didn't kill her, but the toy, I think. Now she is with the scummiest masked man, the one who take advantage of females they human trafficked. He was raising Rio so he could take advantage of her in the future. Hope this guy dies a horrible death. Sakata is now on the news for killing so many men, and he somehow managed to get into his old informant house. His informant shed some light on the 5 masked men. He also gave address to the third boss, the one who was raising Ryu. Sakata cleared all the floors to get to his place, and when he got there, he saw photos of his daughter. And a fight between him and the third boss took place, but he lost this one, as his daughter struck him with an arrow because she didn't recognize him. He manages to escape with the help of his informant after a fall to a bin with an arrow to his shoulder. And now the third act commences. The final boss invites him to his tower where his daughter is captured. So he came to his bat cave to take the cleaver and the Batmobile to have a final bout. He again infiltrated the base and one by one killed the bad guys, who think with their feet first and guns second. This is a guy who has a cleaver, yet he manages to kill an army. He came face to face with the one who was raising his daughter again, but went down quite easily. I thought there would be a good comeuppance, but the third boss came in for the second time and his death was a bit lackluster. And then he came face to face with the final boss who has his daughter. But Sakata is too exhausted to fight. So the informant came in gun blazing and manages to kill most of the goons. Ryo remembers her father when Sakata tells her to run. You must be wondering where is the fourth boss. So here he is now. And as you know by now, Sakata is too OP. So he finishes him quite quickly. But there is a reveal here where we get to know that the fourth and the final bosses are twins. By this time I was so checked out of the movie that I didn't even care for this. The final showdown took place and this time Sakata was actually given a permanent dismemberment when his arm got cut off.
Damn!
But this was nothing for this demon of a man. He managed to give a final blow to his head and the final boss collapsed. But this fight took a toll on him. He collapsed and gave a final hug to his daughter. That's it. That's the film. Go home now. It is not quite finished yet. No! Turns out the final boss is alive and after 1 year, he opened his resort that he was building all that time. I don't know if there is any attempt of this reveal, but it turns out that this was his twin who was alive after the incident. I saw this reveal a mile away. Anyway, he was doing his ritual dance after taking the place of his brother. But he soon met his demise when Sakata's daughter Ryo struck an arrow through his throat. The movie ends with Ryo taking his father's place and the city is now unburdened by the evil, I think. So this is a movie you can enjoy when you can turn your brains off and just want to watch a movie with some bloody action scene. The plot is simple, the hero is one-dimensional and the bad guy doesn't seem to be threatening enough for my taste. I was thinking if this was an anime, it would have worked a lot better with most of the action scenes. I am still in a dilemma if the hero was a supernatural being or not. I was invested in the first act of the movie, but it soon loses itself with just everything. I don't know why there is even a paralyzing plot when he can come out of it anytime and fight like a pro like in his prime. There were 5 villains in the movie and none of them were memorable.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And who fights with a mask when it narrows your vision? I think wearing it makes them more intimidating, but they came out goofy for me. So what do you think about the Demon City? Was it worth your time or not? And check out this video on a couple who was thrown in a forest setting with the plant zombies on their butt. Would they survive the Resident Evil type situation or not? Click on this one to find out.